Hello, FanCred Nation, and welcome to the Thanksgiving Spotlight. I'm your host, Paul Malamud. I'll give myself a real brief introduction before we get right into it because we've got a jam-packed show tonight. My name is Paul Malamud, and as I already told you, I'm the AFC East Division Coordinator and Jets Team Manager for ProFootballSpot.com. So, as I alluded to at the start of the show, this is the Thanksgiving Day special, pre-Thanksgiving Day special of Weekly Spotlight. So to start things off, before we get to talking about the three games that are actually being played on Thursday, every single year around Thanksgiving, depending on what kind of show I'm doing at the time, I like to list off a few of the things that I'm thankful for in the sporting world right about now. So first and foremost, the fact that despite going 1-4 in their last 5 games, the Jets are still very much alive in the playoff hunt. Second, the fact that the amazing or a miracle Mets had such a wonderful playoff run this year. They fell short in the World Series, but going into this season, couldn't have asked for much more. Third, the fact that the New York Rangers, the Blue Shirts, are off to their best start in franchise history with 16 wins and 34 points through 21 games. Those are both more than they've had at all at this point in any season, so that's pretty amazing. Number 4, Godzingis, or Kristaps Porzingis for those not familiar with his nickname. The Latvian wonder is off to an incredible start to his career. I thought he was going to end up being a player. I thought we might have to wait for another, like a year or two, for him to be a star. Don't have to wait at all. The Latvian Godzingis, he's already here and he's already arrived. And lastly, the fact that 3 out of my 4 season-long fantasy teams, Team Rambling Man, Team 2015 equals a year of Damood, and Team Romo Loves Lazy Lingerie are all in very good shape when it comes to the chance to win the championship this year. And realistically, on a serious note, I'm also thankful for my friends, my family, and the fact that I was blessed by God to be born and raised in the USA, the best state, the best country in the world. So now, moving on to that and getting back to the games that are going to be played on Thursday, we're starting things off with the 12:30 game. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles going in to play the Detroit Lions. So, at first thought, I decided that I was going to pick the Lions in this game. I mean, they're coming off. They suddenly have a winning streak after an impressive one after beating the Packers and the Raiders in back-to-back weeks, and the Eagles are flat out playing horribly right now. And then I remembered the fact that just as you're about to start picking a team that always tends to lose to win, you switch it back and go the other way. So I like the Eagles to pull this one out to somehow stay relevant in the NFC East. So it's just a pathetic division with the Giants leading the way at 5-5. The Eagles are going to pull this one out somehow in Detroit. It's might be a high scoring affair, but I like the Eagles to pull it out. The 3:30 game. This is the premier matchup of the game of the day. The undefeated 10-0 Carolina Panthers going into Dallas to play the Cowboys, who now have Tony Romo back and leading the way. Last week against the Cam Newton was able to put up an amazing 5 touchdown passes. Now that's just an anomaly. He's not going to put up that kind of performance again. I mean, don't get me wrong. Cam Newton's an incredible quarterback, but he's not going to be throwing 5 touchdown passes every game. I might be wrong on this, but I believe this is by far his career high. The Panthers have been winning basically on smoke and mirrors offensively with just Cam Newton, Greg Olsen, and an average running back in Jonathan Stewart leading the way. If Tony Romo's arm is able to recover in his second game back on a short week, I think the Cowboys are going to win this one. Last week against the Dolphins, Romo went for 227 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 INTs, which is a pretty good stat line considering how long it's been since he's played. But if the Cowboys want to be able to win and hold any sort of hope at making a comeback in the NFC East, he can't be throwing those interceptions. And finally, we've got the 8:30 game when the Bears are heading into Lambeau Field to take on the Packers, when Brett Favre is going to be in the building to get his jersey retired. Green Bay finally put an end to their losing streak with a win that ended up being a total team effort. The defense played great. The offense played well all around. The Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have an incredible game. He's not going to lose on when Brett Favre's in the building. That's it for the show. Thanks for joining, everybody.